everybody, it's Avrin at Tea Review and 2. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my top 10 favorites from the T2T 2020 Loose Leaf Tea Advent Calendar. And I got my stack right here, but I realized they say the names on the back, so no spoilers. I'm just going to kind of hide these right here. I got all the little packets right here. I got the box right here for the ingredients because the ingredients aren't on the individual packets, just kind of like a little description of the teas. But we got the ingredients right here. I've got my notes right there. I got my tea right here. I think you just saw the honorable mention. That's an honorable mention. I said I was going to try to hide it, and here I am. But yeah, so I'm ready. Let's jump into it. Without further ado, I'm trying to get somewhere to put this. Well, I think I'm going to have to hold the laptop, so I'm going to put this up. First thing, like, this is a really nice, sturdy, I was going to say case, but what do you, I mean, not a booklet, what do you kind of call something like this? I mean, I know it's an advent calendar, of course, but like, you know, I'm sure there's a better word for this structure of a thing, but it really held up well. I mean, I just really like the size of it. It's just nice. You know, it's a commanding presence. Got 2 honorable mentions, and then we'll go top 10 from 10 to 1. Now, let's get into it. Honorable mention, first one right here is Green Rose. In Green Rose here, we've got green tea, currants, papaya bits, mango bits, natural and artificial flavoring, rose petals, and cornflower petals. And there's ingredients within some of those ingredients, and you should see it up on the screen and everything right there. And so with Green Rose, it's a smooth mango and rose flavor throughout with a nice hint of sweetness. And when I say sweetness, I don't know why that's just sounded funny to me. All right, but yeah, I'm reading my notes. I didn't spell it wrong or anything. I don't know why I said it like that. It had a lightly vegetal, toasty, grassy notes going on here. And the bitterness tries to come through more, but it's held at bay by the fruit and the floral notes. And then there also seems like there's white tea blended in this one as well, because at times the grassiness of the tea kind of lightens up and becomes more delicate when the sweetness comes more to the forefront. But after a few more sips, I determined that the lightness that lifted the green tea came from the rose notes, which were nice. And there's slight hints of the tropical fruits going on in this one, but it didn't lean towards any specific kind of fruit with me. It just kind of hints of something fruity here. You know, you have like the mango is mostly coming out a little bit, and then you kind of tasted some other, you know, like tropical notes going on in this one. So this one, you know, I had all of these hot, just, you know, and I made them as they say on the package, just keep it as standard as fair as possible. But this one I think would be like probably better iced. I think I would enjoy this one more iced, but it got on the honorable mention right there, Green Rose. And for the next honorable mention, we have Tummy Tea. Now, Tummy Tea, in the ingredients here, we've got peppermint, licorice root, fennel, and marigold petals. And this one, you know, contains licorice, so, you know, it's a warning with that one. But there's a few of these that do contain licorice, a couple of these that, and tree nuts, I believe. So there's a kind of, and I like they include it on the back of the box here and on the actual package of the tea to kind of forewarn you and everything, because there are allergies. You should definitely be aware of that in some of these teas. And for Tummy Tea, I said it was a refreshing mint blend that intertwined with the licorice and the fennel. There's a smooth sweetness that comes in with the licorice, and I'm not a big fan of licorice or fennel, but I didn't mind the licorice much since the mint was present and fresh. And thankfully, the mint also stuck around with the licorice in the aftertaste. And I would have liked this one more if the mint was more present, but I was glad that it didn't like allow the licorice or fennel to take over. You know, overall, I enjoyed this one enough to give it a mention, but if you like licorice or fennel notes as well as mint, you'll probably like this one more than I would, and it would probably be like in your top 10 or whatnot. And I appreciate this because I kind of went into it with that licorice and fennel. Like, okay, let's see how this one's gonna be. And then I was kind of surprised. I was like, in that case, you know, I think it deserves a mention on the honorable mention for me, because I went into it hesitant and I came out of it like, you know what? That was not bad at all. I actually kind of enjoyed it. You know, I probably would have, like I said, enjoyed it a little bit more if it was maybe some of the other kind of notes going on with it as well. But honorable mention, Tummy Tea. Now, let's jump into the top 10, starting with number 10, Packs of Peach. And in Packs of Peach, we have here apple, white hibiscus, papaya cubes, sweet blackberry leaves, peach, roasted chicory root, natural and artificial flavoring, marigold petals, acidifier, and citric acid. And with Packs of Peach, let me get to my notes, I gotta scroll down. And with Packs of Peach, I said it was a peach, apple, and papaya rye. The peach and the apple will lift up the papaya and also let in some light floral notes. Then those fruit flavors lay back down on you. And there's a nice level of tartness going on and some smooth sweetness that goes along with that as well. Both are noticeable, but the sweetness is more so, but it's not like overabundant. You definitely say like this has some sweetness to it, and I wouldn't have to add anything else to it. But you know, some people, you know, you add sweetness to most teas they have, and that wouldn't make this one overly sweet, I don't think. And for this one, I think it would probably be great ice. And there's artificial flavor in this, but I didn't really get like an artificial, you know, taste from this one. Like when I tasted it, I wasn't like, oh, this is completely artificial. This doesn't taste real at all. You know, so it had more of a natural fruity taste to it, but like not completely weird in a sense where it's like, you know, like it was, sometimes things kind of stuck out a little bit more where you're like, that's suspect, you know, maybe a little bit like that doesn't really taste like that abundant sometimes, especially like with what's in the packet. On the side here, you know, you've been seeing, you'll continue to see the herbal infusion or the loose leaf tea blend, you know, how I got it in the packet, you know, in the infuser. And one thing that was kind of like my biggest con probably with the T2 additive calendar was the amount of tea in each packet. It just seemed really light in some of these packets, like where, you know, you pour the whole packet in the infuser and you can still see like the base of the infuser in some parts. And usually, you know, I use a little bit more tea than what they say in the instructions when I'm just drinking tea normally. But I understand like for the packet, you know, they're just giving you a serving and everything. But it just seemed like even for the serving amount, it wasn't that much in there. Like some of it filled up the bottom of the infuser. I'm like, okay, but sometimes I pour the, you know, packet in there and I'm like, where's the rest of it? And that would be it. So with some of these, I think sometimes that could have hampered some of these blends some if there was more of the ingredients in there in general, or maybe you know some of the ingredients are actually missing. And for some of the blends, they actually have like a percentage of what's in here. For packs of peaches, 43.8% apple, 14% papaya cube. So, you know, it kind of breaks down some of the ingredients like that. So it would be neat maybe like to measure that out and really see how precise that is. But that's number 10, packs of peach. And number 9, we've got Wakey Wakey. With this one, before I jump into the notes, with Wakey Wakey, in the ingredients here, we've got yerba mate, green tea, ginger, licorice root, peppermint, natural flavoring, guarana, and goji berry. And on this one, it does have some of the ingredients broken down by percentages, like 28.5% yerba mate, 21.5% green tea. Then it goes ginger, which doesn't have percent, but I think it may be bundles though. Then it's like ginger, licorice root, peppermint, and it says 10% after that. So maybe that's all 10%. Or maybe just the peppermint, but I do like that they kind of break that down some in a sense. It's pretty neat. For Wakey Wakey, I got great refreshing mint notes, and it leaves that light minty feeling afterwards on my tongue and lips. You know, kind of like that sparkly, not like, I hate to say sparkly because it's like it's leaving glitter on your lips or something. That would be weird. But like, so not like in a sense of like that where I felt like something was on my lips or face or something on my tongue, but just that kind of tingling, you know, that minty kind of tingling. I like that. But it left a little bit of that going on, and it has some of that light lemon and orange type citrus notes that were going on as well, but without like the tang or tartness with that. And it seems like the ginger notes takes those aspects and like partners with them. I think it seemed like the ginger took away the tartness and with those typical citrus notes and just kind of blended with it. And the licorice, I say it's noticeable, but it doesn't like take over. You know, the opening smell of that ginger, that green tea, and that light mint with each sip is nice. It's not harsh at all. It's definitely abundant, but it's really like one of those you really like to go in and smell with each sip right there. And that's number 9, Wakey Wakey. Oh, there he is. Oh. Number 8, Creme Brulee. In Creme Brulee here, we've got black tea, natural and artificial flavoring, caramel, vanilla, and cream, brittle pieces, which include sugar, hazelnut, and invert sugar. Sometimes the ingredients just kind of lead me into what's inside the actual ingredients. But on this one, the warning does contain tree nuts. With this one, I got a creamy and smooth black tea that is light and slightly malty, and a light but good breakfast blend is what I got from this one. There's a nice sweetness of vanilla that comes through in with the creaminess at first, and it kind of reminds me of like a vanilla oat milk creamer that I use sometimes in some of my teas. And the vanilla lifts into a light note to blend more with the tea, underlying but noticeable hazelnut notes throughout. There's a decadent dessert aroma that I got from this one after steeping that's even better actually than before. It had a nice smell with each sip. And like the smell before was nice, definitely nice for sure, but like after steeping for some reason, I enjoyed the smell more. Sometimes, usually it's kind of vice versa. You smell the tea before steeping and it's like, oh, that's super nice. And afterwards, like maybe it changes, or maybe it's still nice, but just not that kind of in your face nice. But with this one, I was like, I definitely appreciated that aroma. And that's part of, you know, the tea sippage. You know, it's not just the flavors where you get from that aroma, it's a big part of it too. This one definitely had a nice aroma with it. And that's number 8, Creme Brulee. Number 7, Pumpkin Pomegranate. And Pumpkin Pomegranate here, we've got apple, hibiscus, rose hips, elderberry, natural and artificial flavoring, and pomegranate seed. And for pomegranate pumping, for pumping pomegranate, I got a very smooth pomegranate flavor. It was sometimes, you get sometimes herbal pomegranate blends, they kind of sting with that tartness, but this one doesn't. The tartness meets up with the sweetness and slight creaminess going on, and the tartness wins, but not by much. Like the tartness is still there, but it's not like totally taking over, like, you get that going on. And the apple notes are also present with a circular, like hovering floral essence going on here. And I really want to try this one iced. It's another one of these blends that I was like, this would be great probably iced. Like maybe even better, that I think that I like it hot would be better iced. And I can see myself, having a picture of this in the fridge. Even hot, it was hydrating and refreshing, so I can only imagine that it would be even more so if it was iced with this one. And that's number 7, Pumping Pomegranate. Number 6, French Earl Grey. In French Earl Grey here, we've got black tea, hibiscus, natural and artificial bergamot flavoring, natural and artificial flavoring, sunflower petals, rose petals, and mallow flowers. And with French Earl Grey, it's an Earl Grey that really wants to be an Earl Grey, and it succeeds at it. It's a very present floral notes with the black tea, but the floral isn't overabundant. Like I wouldn't consider this just like a floral blend with black tea, but it definitely is. It's definitely a black tea with those floral and fruit notes. The black tea is slightly malty, and as it lays down and lets the fruit and the floral notes kind of like dance above it, while also maintaining its presence throughout. And the black tea would be bold and full bodied on its own. I could just tell, like, if you cut those other ingredients out, you could tell, like, this tea would be very strong on its own. But the floral notes of this one, the rose and the hibiscus and the citrus light fruit notes, they lift it, they add a sweetness to it as well. And there's a nice aroma that greets you with each sip, and it tries to please you. This is a blend right here that tries to please you, but it's sophisticated and delightful at doing it. So you don't mind it. You're like, you know what? That was an honest try, and you honestly succeeded. Like, you really came in. You really, like, French Earl Grey just walks in the room, you're like, what's this person all about? And it's like, that's pretty genuine, though. You're like, all right, we tried it, that's all right, I appreciate that. Maybe we don't judge French Earl Grey when it first comes and meets you. Finish the cup and then judge French Earl Grey. And so that's what I got with number 6, French Earl Grey. If you notice kind of something going on with some of these ingredients here, there's often a lot of artificial flavors going on. And with that, sometimes you can, like I say, with French Earl Grey kind of trying really hard and doing that, that's maybe part of that artificial flavor really. I mean, sometimes, artificial flavoring does help a blend get more to what it's trying to go after. And then sometimes it just kind of takes it away. You're like, that's just too fake. That's just, what are we doing here? Come on. But so that's kind of like a theme kind of going on with some of these, blends right here is natural and artificial flavoring. So whether you like that or not, I know some people are like super anti-artificial flavor, some people are fine with it, some people are like, it depends. I'm kind of like, it depends. Most of the blends I have just normally, when I have tea, don't have artificial flavorings. When I review teas and, drink teas as advent calendars, that's usually when I taste some of these artificial flavor blends. A lot of blends that I do review don't have artificial flavor, but some do. I know some companies are kind of moving away from it more, where it seems like T2 is a company that, I don't want to say it's moving towards it, but like it's definitely noticeable in some of their teas for sure. But let's jump into number 5, Ginger Knot Chai. In Ginger Knot Chai here, we've got black tea, ginger, cinnamon, orange peel, cardamom, natural and artificial flavoring, natural maple flavoring, natural and artificial ginger flavoring, and vanilla. And with Ginger Knot Chai, I got a calming and slightly spicy chai. The ginger is smooth with an essence of orange, which has a nice aroma, after steeping it as well. The spiciness lays on the tongue with each sip and the aftertaste, but it's not overwhelming at all. The ginger is the main event in this one though. And the cinnamon comes and goes. I appreciate this chai in a different way than I usually appreciate chais. Usually to be high on my chai list, a chai has to bring the spice and the various flavor notes from the typical, the cardamom, the cloves, the cinnamon. But this chai was different to me because it highlighted the ginger more so than the other ingredients. And I like ginger, but I think it often gets overtaken by the other flavor notes in chai. So it's nice to have a chai that has more of an emphasis on the ginger right here. And that is number 6, Ginger Knot Chai. Number 4, New York Breakfast. In New York Breakfast here, we've got a black tea, cinnamon, natural and artificial flavoring, and vanilla. And with New York breakfast, it's a nice soft vanilla that's slightly sweet that balanced out this bold black tea that brought in some maltiness with it. There's also some nutty notes going on I got from this one I picked up that's similar to like pecan and almond. And it's a full-bodied black tea that's almost as complicated. It's complicated by the sweetness. It's a full-bodied black tea that's complemented by the sweetness and the notes of vanilla and cinnamon. Smells great. Reminds me of having a nice breakfast of like pancakes or waffles with some like vanilla syrup and powdered sugar and cinnamon going on right there. This one I can see people having as a standard breakfast tea in the cabinet, but not standard to the point where it's like, I guess I'll have this breakfast tea again this morning, but more like, I'm gonna have New York breakfast again this morning. You know, something that you just start the morning like that. You know, some people have those staple teas that they usually go to in the morning, and sometimes you get a little like stale. You know, this would be one of like, oh, you know, I did this one this morning or something like that. Maybe, I mean, after a while, maybe it'll be like one of them, you're like, oh, New York breakfast again. But like, you know, so that's what I kind of got from this one. Number 3, mango cucumber. In the ingredients for mango cucumber, we've got apple, rosehip shells, mango mango bits, pineapple bits, papaya bits, natural and artificial flavoring, and there's like a lot of ingredients in that, like cucumber, mango, kiwi, or within that, yeah, you have kiwi, cornflower petals, rose petals, and sunflower petals. A lot of petals and shells and natural and artificial flavor going on in this one. But with mango cucumber, I got a very hydrating and smooth blend. Like while sipping this one, it made me want to swish it around, you know, kind of like to get that hydrating effect, you know, really play out going on there. And it's very tropical, but not too in your face. You know, there's a sweetness throughout that somewhat spikes randomly at times. Sometimes it's like a fruit snack with that like bursting inside, you know, like the Gushers, you know, those fruit snacks, you know, I used to really eat those. So I won't say a lot when I was a kid, but it was a common thing for me to have a pack of Gushers in the cabinet, you know? So, you know, it's got that fruit snack kind of thing going on with this, what I got from that one. And you got the cucumber, mango, and pineapple fruit notes that go together well. And there's some light floral notes going on as well that seemed like they had a bit of like honey dripped on them for them. Like the floralness I got was kind of like a sweetness, like a drizzle of honey on the rose petals and the sunflower petals or whatnot. And I thought this would make a great ice blend. So I let my cup kind of cool down, just kind of get a glimpse of how it at least tastes cool. You know, even though I typically make my iced teas with more tea, you know, and I make them differently than I make my hot teas. But like when this one was cool, it was very nice. So I could definitely see me making this one, you know, like in iced tea pictures in the future, like of having like a nice hydrating blend right here. I think mango cucumber would be even better iced than it was hot. But it was definitely, I enjoyed it hot as well. And that's number 3, mango cucumber. We're getting down to it, folks. 2 more left. What is it? This was a toss-up. Number 1 and number 2, like, went back and forth. With this advent calendar, it wasn't as hard as the Adagio teas and the DAVIDsTEA matcha advent calendar as far as like compiling the list. Like it was pretty like evident when I drank some of these, like, no, it's not gonna make the list, or that's gonna make the list. Not like specific number. I didn't drink like, you know, I didn't drink like French Earl Grey and think like, oh, that's number 6 or 5 or however which one it was on this list. You know, just that's on the list. You know, drink another, not on the list. So like once I actually like went down to see how many got on the list, you know, I would kind of put what, you know, after we're making the notes, I would put whether or not it was on the list. Sometimes I would be like, that's a top 5. Oh, that's a top 10. You know, I have my notes and everything. Like after counting all of these, like it was pretty much exact, you know, as far as numbers. I didn't have to be like, really be like, oh, I got to cut something like how I did with the other calendars or something like that. So, and then after that, arranging it was pretty easier with this one. But I do want to say, you know, don't be upset or surprised or just shocked, you know, if one of your favorites didn't make it on my list, or if it's in like a different number. Like I say, the actual packet of ingredients in these are pretty light, so you may have gotten more of some ingredients than I got, or less or something. And you know, of course, different people, different tastes as well. But that being said, these number 2 and the number 1 spot were the ones that kept flipping for me. And I would taste them, you know, like when I tasted them, they got the notes, and it was like, okay, that's a top 5 one. And the other one, you know, number 1, I was like, that's a top 5 one. And I started moving them both up, and I'm like, these are like, and they're not similar either, not similar at all. But let's just get to it. All right, number 2, Christmas breakfast. In Christmas breakfast here, we've got black tea, ginger, cinnamon, natural and artificial flavoring, which consists of gingerbread, vanilla, chocolate gingerbread, honey, ginger, and nutmeg. And with Christmas breakfast, I say this is fall and holiday season in a cup. That's it. That's the notes. No, I'm just kidding. I said it's, and it smells delightful of ginger, cinnamon, chocolate, and gingerbread. In taste, the black tea is slightly malty and bold, but it's surrounded by love, by the ginger, by the honey, by the nutmeg, by the cinnamon. It's like, you know, the black tea is like the parents or something, you know, and the ginger and the honey and the nutmeg and the cinnamon, they're the kids. You know, the black tea had kids, and that's, speaking of, my kid's coming down here right now, he's like, what, Dad? But, and there's a nice sweetness throughout and some spiciness. The spiciness is light but opening, and it stays around slightly in the aftertaste with the ginger and the honey and the cinnamon. You know, next time I have this, I think I actually will add a little honey in it to see if that enhances those notes, because I believe that would set this one to like another like stratosphere. Like, because like I said, this was a holiday season at the cup right here. Like, this is one definitely I'll be buying again. Like, some of these like made the list, but I'm still like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily like buy them again, you know, like I would, if it was in like a variety pack, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, so-and-so, that blend is back in here, I'll remember I like that one, I'll try it again, maybe I'll try it ice this time or something like that. But this is one where I'll be like, I'm gonna buy Christmas breakfast again probably, you know, like, so that is number 2, Christmas breakfast. Number 1, numero uno, is Gorgeous Geisha. In Gorgeous Geisha, we've got green tea, natural and artificial flavoring, which is strawberry, yogurt, and cream, and strawberries. That's it. But this blend, like I said, went back and forth with number 1 and number 2, but I decided, you know, like, this blend is very smooth and hydrating. The green tea is carried well by the strawberry flavor notes. I know there's like not a lot of ingredients in this. You're like, what? How could this possibly be number 1? It did what it did very well. There's a nice level of sweetness in this one. It reminded me of like cherry notes I got from it, but without any of the tartness. There's a very smooth throughout, just very smooth. This blend was just very smooth. Like, the creaminess was there, but it wasn't like super abundant. You know, like, and with the yogurt that goes on with that smoothness, definitely, like, I'm a fan of yogurt, so, but I didn't think I was like drinking yogurt with this one. And you do have those like drinkable yogurt, and I do like some of those, like Chobani makes some of those stuff. Anyway, tangent. But like, very smooth throughout. There's a light astringent aftertaste going on. So like, the green tea is very evident here, but not like in your face evident green tea. Like, it's a definitely very, like, one of the smoothest like blends of green tea that I've had recently while I was sipping this. I was sipping a lot of tea throughout, you know, this right here. So, with this one, very smooth throughout, and there's a light astringent aftertaste going on. It's like a fruity pillow with a sheet of slightly grassy, mellow green tea over it. You know, like, you got the pillow, and you got the strawberries in there. Like I said, you get kind of, it's like, it tastes like cherries in there. You know, that's how you get on the pillow. You know, nighttime, you're just really smushed up to that. I mean, it's not like getting like the strawberries all over, you know. It's just like a pillow. Slide that sheet of grass, you know. Oh, you kind of smell it. You taste it. You just like, ooh, that works. Like, that works well. And you kind of get in that pillow even more. And it's still soft though. You know, it's still soft. It reminded me also of like flavored strawberry gum, but not like with the kind of artificial flavors and the too much sugar, something that really like sticks out. You're tasting it, you're like, man, you really want it to be strawberry, and you did it, but at the sacrifice of not being real strawberry. You know, this one, that was like an organic gum, like one of those, you're like, you're fancy, aren't you? But all right, I like you though. You're like, you know, you're organic, you're pricier, you know, like, gosh, you're like $3 a pack, and I can get this bubble something for like 50 cents or something. But like, that's how this one was with it. And that was part of that hydrating, like, smooth part, was that gum kind of taste that I got from this one. It's a light sweetness that really complements the tea. Like, I don't know, like, the strawberries in this one went with the tea so well, that grassiness. Like, you slight grassiness in that green tea, like, not over, but you taste this and you definitely know it's a green tea. You definitely taste the strawberry. None of it's, neither one are in your face too much. They both just complement each other well. I mean, like, maybe the strawberry is the pillow, and the sheet that you pull over is the green tea, and the human being in the bed is you. And you're being comforted by that strawberry and that green tea, like in this one. Eventually, this one got cool. Like, just running around doing different things. I think this one, yeah, did I have it in my notes? Yeah, I remember taking this one to work. So this one got cool, so I poured it into a glass tumbler, you know, had it later that day. Got a little hectic, you know, I work at a hospital, my normal full-time job. So yeah, had it later, but definitely didn't want to just be like, oh, I'll just Just see you later, gorgeous Geisha. I don't have time to put. I got time to put you in a tumbler. I'm taking you with me. And so, but it got cool, very nice cool, which made me believe that this would be another one that would be great ice. But the thing with this, some of the other ones like were really good hot. You know, they're good hot, but I'm like, you would be even better ice. Like you'd be way better ice. This one, I liked it really a lot ice. I mean, I liked this one. I liked it a lot hot. But like, I'm like, it would be great ice as well. But it wasn't to the point where I was like, next time I'm making it ice. Like, no doubt. Like some of these other ones, like I'm making you ice for sure if I have you again. This gorgeous Geisha, they're gonna have you hot again. I'll have you ice too. But like, because it just did it really well. Let's read on this one it says, the description is smooth, sweet, and so creamy. Sencha green tea combined with the luscious flavors of strawberries and cream is delicious hot or iced as a summer treat. This Geisha's got a hold on us. That's number one, gorgeous Geisha. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. You said it multiple times now, it sounds right. When I say it once, it sounds odd. Gorgeous Geisha. Say it gorgeous. That's, like I said, gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. That sounds right. But when I say it once, gorgeous. I don't know why. It sounds like to me. But that is it. Honorable mentions and top 10 in the T2 2020 Advent calendar. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you all to subscribe. We're over 1,000 subscribers on the channel. Definitely thank you all for subscribing. There's a giveaway going on. Definitely check out my most recent review video. It has the details on that. Giveaway closes down. The entries in it close down in a month from when that video is uploaded. So it's going to be coming around in a couple weeks. It's going to be closing out. But still, definitely thank you to everybody that subscribed. You all are awesome. Hope you enjoyed the video. Enjoy that cup of tea you've got. Take care.